Hello everyone, today I'm gonna do a couple tests on the bokeh. The first test is the same distance, so they are shot at the same distance, 88 cm. The reason I chose this cm is 88 cm is at the first test is that this is the biggest distance that the 75 F1.2 can handle. So this is the minimal 88 cm that shot. So you can take a look at the bokeh differences. They are all shot at the same distance, 88 cm, which is the minimal focus distance of the Viltrox 75mm. So this is the first test, and later on I'm gonna show the minimal distance of all the lenses after I zoom in a little bit and then compare a little bit of these. So the bokeh right out of the bat, I think at the same distance, 88 cm, you can see the differences between the 90 and the 75 is the bigger bokeh at the same distance, and around the same size as the 50. So the 50 F1.0 and the 56 at the same, around the same distance. You can see that the object is bigger, but the bokeh is around the same size. I think at the same 88 cm distance, the bokeh ball is bigger for the F1.2 75 than the 90. So keep in mind that this is the same distance, but later on when we closer the distance, the bokeh ball is getting much bigger. So let's zoom in a little bit, just make sure, let's see what's going on with the focus area. So maybe let's zoom in a little bit like this, and then this one, zoom in a little bit around the same size, zoom in, because this is the 90 is already zoomed in, so I just need to zoom in a little bit more. Yep, so around here. So this is the 56 WR, this is the latest 56 WR, and then let's zoom in the 50. So because the 50 is much further away, in the 50 the focal length it looks smaller, the object. I have to zoom in a little bit more. Because of the F1.0 I can see some chromatic aberration in the 51.0 already. See the differences between the 56, 90 and then the 51.0. And let's zoom in the 75 Viltrox. So let's zoom in around the same size. So the chromatic aberration still not there yet, like there's no chromatic on the edges, so it's really good, like for the 75mm. So for the bokeh size, in the center you have rounded bokeh, and then on the edges you have non-rounded bokeh on the edges, toward the center. So there's a mix of both. I think the 56 has more rounded overall, 50 has some in between, and then 90 is a lot of rounded also. So the 90 also has a lot of rounded. So it depends on what do you want. Comment below which bokeh do you like the most. Different people has different opinions about bokeh, but for me, as long as it's nice and smooth, the edges, you can see that the edges of the bokeh, as long as it's nice and smooth, it's fine to me. It doesn't have to be everything is rounded bokeh. So there's a mix, is good to me also. So let's zoom out a little bit more just to show you the differences, have more context. So that's the first test. So let's switch a little bit on the next one. So I have some file right behind it. They are the minimum distance. So let's zoom out a little bit more for this one. Minimum distance means that this is the 50 cm between the camera lens to this focus area, 50 cm. And then the next one 90, you see how magnified it is, because the 90mm f2 it's magnified at the not magnified it's at a 60 cm, almost like just 10 cm. It's getting pretty close, but because of the 90mm is much bigger the subject. You can see the differences between this one, and let's go to this one. 50, the most that we can do is like this close. So 50, you cannot get in more closer. So the max bokeh between the distance you can do is like this for the 50, and of course this is the 75 f1.2 88. So you can see the differences for the minimum focus distance. So just want to show you what's the differences between when they shot at the same distance and when they shot at the minimum focal distance. So when they shot at minimum focal distance, the bokeh size is different based on the focal length, because the closer that you can get to the camera, the bigger the bokeh. So the biggest bokeh you can get, like for the lens, is the 90 for this test. If you're shooting at a very close distance, trying to get the maximum bokeh. So that's my thought on this one. So let me know below, what do you think about it? Which one do you like the most, and what are your opinions on these lenses? Yep, let me know on which bokeh do you like the most. Yep, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more video coming up. Bye.